Welcome into RedHawk Softball Weekly. Luke Poley with the head coach of the Miami RedHawks, Mandy Gardner-Colegate. Coach, it's been a few weeks. You guys are now 15
Yeah.
and 4, sitting at the top of the MAC right now. It's a lot has changed since we last talked. Guys are on a bit of a roll, reached a little bit of a hiccup that did end yesterday afternoon with a three-game losing streak getting snapped with an 8-0 run rule win against Akron. And now you've got maybe the biggest series of the conference season coming up this weekend for you guys against preseason favorite Ohio. So as we start to now move down the stretch of the season, you got three max series left to play. What's kind of your assessment of where your team is at?
Yeah, we set ourselves up really nicely there at the beginning. So I'm really proud of the team for that. And you never want to have obviously a hiccup in the middle, but we set ourselves up nicely where it's not affecting us yet. And so just getting back on track, I think that second game yesterday, we were able to do that. Moving into this weekend, we're feeling a lot more confident. We're excited, and I think we only have what 9 games of the regular season left, 8 conference, and then Purdue. So, kind of getting down there to the last kind of stretch. We obviously have our bye week next weekend, which I think will be really good for us just from a rest and recovery standpoint. But yeah, just really excited and just continuing to focus on ourselves and doing what we can control to set us up for a nice seeding for the MAC tournament.
When we last talked, it was mostly about non-conference play, right? And obviously the schedule was very, very difficult, but having two pitchers on your staff that had never pitched at the D1 level before, we're now starting to see the scores of your games creep down a little bit. Is that just a competition thing, or do you really think that, especially for Leah and Shelby, that they've kind of settled in a little bit at this level?
I honestly think it's a mix. There's some really tremendous athletes throughout the MAC. Ball State can hit it, Central can hit it, obviously Ohio can hit it. And honestly, the rest of them too. There's just good athletes. The MAC has really been elevated this year, so that's been really fun. But I think it's just going back to their confidence level, understanding hitters at this level, understanding you can make a good pitch and still give up a hit, or you can make a really bad pitch and get them out. And so I think just understanding that, limiting our free bases, that has been big. Obviously, that kind of burned us a lot there at the beginning of the season, and so I'm just really proud of all of them. Pitching's kept us in games as of late. We always talk about just giving us, a chance to win, giving the offense a chance to win, and they've definitely done that. And so, really proud of them. I continue to talk to them about how our offense will get it done. We are a very strong offense, and just because we had a little bit of a slump there for a few days doesn't mean that it's going to happen the rest of the season. So just keeping them on track, really having them realize, what they can control is the only thing that they need to be worrying about. So, yeah, just really proud of really all three of them and just what they've done, especially in conference play.
Maddie Reeves came in as kind of the new kid on the block last year, and now she's being leaned on as the number one arm really on this staff, but has kind of embraced that role well. And now she's approaching the 200 inning mark. You guys leaned on her for 9 innings in game one yesterday, the doubleheader against Akron, and she's thrown 19 complete games, excuse me, in total this year. Just from a development standpoint, you got to see her when you first came in the fall. Where is she at now compared to back then?
I just think her growth both on and off the fields, physically and mentally, has been just a huge difference. Honestly, she's a competitor. She is very hard on herself. She's very selfless. She wants to give the team the best chance to win. And even yesterday in our 9 inning game, she felt like she pitched poorly because she gave up 3 runs and we lost. And it's like, no, you pitched really well. We gotta score one more run than them to get the victory. And so just making sure that she's staying confident. For Ball State, she did really well there as well. Their offense is a juggernaut, and so I was really proud of her for keeping it in the yard. And so yeah, and she didn't even have her changeup really for game one, and she still did what she did. So when her changeup's on, she's pretty much untouchable. But the things she's just done throughout the conference has just been really impressive. Toledo, she threw both back-to-back doubleheader games a few weeks ago, got 2 victories. And Toledo's, they beat Central yesterday. They've taken some games from some really great teams, and so their offense is strong. And so the fact that she was able to do that back-to-back games like that, I think just shows kind of her development. But she's I think about 13 strikeouts, 10 to 13 strikeouts away from 300 for her career. So that's climbing as well. That was one of her goals for the season, was to increase her strikeouts. And she's definitely done that. And so just really proud of her. Honestly, I can only think of really one game, and it was in preseason that she was actually hit really hard. And so for her to show up and do what she does every single day, whether she has her C stuff or her A stuff, is just a testament to the work she's put in the fall.
Offensively, I know you mentioned you're in a little bit of a funk right now, but again, since our last update, things have taken quite an uptick. Everybody, all but one of your regulars, I should say, hitting 274 or up, and Jenna Golombeski right now, who's hitting 274, is tied for eighth in the country in home runs. We've seen an uptick in the home run hitting as well, playing in the home ballpark. I think probably helps with that a little bit, right? But just overall, especially early on in this max slate, you've seen your team put up a lot of crooked numbers in the scoreboard on the scoreboard. Is that also just a thing of settling into the season a little bit as you get into MAC play, or have you felt that your team has just looked different in these last couple months?
I honestly think it's just a mindset thing. Our game is so mental. And so I think we put too much pressure on ourselves to be successful when we don't need to do that. And we didn't have any pressure on us in the preseason. And then even at the beginning of conference, right, there's really no expectation still. So we were just playing free. And so that's on us as coaches. We just got to make sure that they're feeling comfortable and free and confident. And so we had kind of a heart to heart between our double headers yesterday. I think that was really, really great. I think it was kind of a turning point. We opened it up to them, just talked through some things, and I think we're right back on track. So I'm excited to see this weekend. Ohio has the best pitching staff in the conference from a number standpoint, up until this point, and so we're excited to kind of battle against their best, and hopefully our offense can remain confident and take yesterday's second game into this weekend.
Yeah, an Ohio team that you're seeing for the first time around. They're a few games back of you guys right now just because they haven't played as many in the conference. But like you mentioned, best pitching staff in the MAC numbers wise, and a team that really has been the main challenge for this program, especially when it comes MAC tournament time over the last couple of years under a veteran and experienced coaching staff. So, what's your message to your team? I guess just going up to play 3 games in 2 days this weekend.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is what I've kind of preached all year is we're playing an opponent, but we're not necessarily playing the opponent. Like we're playing ourselves, because when we play all facets of our game, we're going to be successful. And so focusing on pitching the ball well, playing defense behind our pitchers, and then just scoring as many runs as we can, we really feel like that's a recipe for success against anybody. So, not making the moment too big, obviously, like you said in the past, this series has been really big, has been challenging, but just not making it bigger than it actually is. We have 3 games to worry about, but one game at a time, one pitch at a time, and just focusing on what we can control, and putting it all out there, and knowing that if we do that, we're probably going to be pretty successful.
RedHawks in action this weekend. Again, 3 games in 2 days. Doubleheader Friday at 1 and 3. Wrap up the series on Saturday at noon in Athens against the arch rival Ohio Bobcats, who are currently second place in the league behind Miami. All those games can be found on ESPN Plus as well if you're looking for the stream. And Coach, we'll talk to you next week before presumably the midweek and then a bye for you guys, which will be
Yeah.
really nice, I'm sure. So thanks for the time.
Yeah. Thanks so much.